you look at that? Hey kids, that there is a real Wild West Gold Rush era ghost town. I've been waiting my whole life to come here. Welcome to the Something or Other tour. 1904, Solomon B. Burkham. I think the names were cooler back then. Welcome to the Something or Other tour. We're in Bodie, California. This is a ghost town in Mono County, close to the Nevada border, southeast of Tahoe, northwest of Yosemite. This was a boom town in the 1870s, and it slowly started to die off as the gold mining profits around here started to plummet. It's now a National Historic Site and a state park. I've been waiting to come here for years. Super thrilled. Looks like elevators. I don't know what these are. Platforms. I'm finally in Bodie, man. I'm almost getting emotional because I've wanted to come here so bad for so long. Look at that. Wow. It's so much bigger than I thought. And I found something very special for you guys. You won't believe it. Huh? Full-blown commode. Look at that. At its height, they say there was 8,000 to 10,000 people here. And while there's 100+ buildings still here, it's only about 5% of the buildings that were here in its heyday. I'm sort of in awe being here. Like, finally, man. I've been waiting like my whole life to come here. Finally here. As you guys know, I love Wild West stuff. It's one of my favorite things. I love Gold Rush history. Also one of my favorite things, so. Oh, this is cool. I mean, look at that. For crying out loud. Oh, cool. I don't want that to fall through.
It's all broke.
The coolest part about this place to me is like the layers. So many layers, you know what I mean? Like, look at this way. Look at that. It's like you got the bushes right here, you got the field, you got the truck and that, what is that, like a old barn? And then you got the street with the buildings, then you got the hills over there. And I got my cousin here, the pick van, the van photographer, Steven. He's doing some flicks and also filming some video, and he has a channel as well, which I'll link down below. Leave a comment, tell him to start uploading. Here are some old service station pumps. This is from later on in Bodie's life. By the time automobiles were prevalent, Bodie was already on the way out. It's cool though. This looks like a hardware or general store. Let's see if they're open. No, not open. Reminds me of the Chukey general store, which I did an episode at. You should go watch that if you like this kind of stuff. I wish they'd let me in here so bad. This is the Bodhi Hotel right here. Gonna see if there's any vacancy. Get a room. usually have a personal rule where I won't go places like this holiday weekends, but we had no choice, and it's for good reason. I haven't told you kids yet, but tonight they keep the park open an extra 4 hours, so we get to be here after sundown. So that'll be a separate video, Bodie After Dark. Keep an eye out. Each remaining building at Bodhi has a designated number, and then for an extra $2, you can get this handy dandy guidebook, and it tells you what they are. So let's see what this one is. 26. This is the Quinnville house. Frank F. Quinnville, a Canadian native, Canuck, moved to Bodhi in the 1880s. He was the blacksmith for the Standard Mine and Mill well into the early 1900s. He and his wife Mary had 5 children. Continue north on Wood Street to the gate. I guess this is Wood Street. Hey, the Quinnville residence, huh? Mr. Quinnville was just in there writing letters back home to Canada, huh? Wow. Up here's the stamp mill. Every once in a while you can get tours of it. You might have to come back and do a part those. I think this was part of the Standard Mill Company was the name of it. It's off limits unless you're on a tour, so we can't just wander up there as much as I'd like to. It's wild to me that that was like someone's job, you know? They came to this every day to make their living. I love that in so many of these buildings, the glass is still here. Most places it seems like the glass is long gone. This house is one of the coolest for sure. Look at this porch, huh? Huh? Talking full-blown barges? Dude, under the house. What if a hand just came flying out and grabbed me? The elevation here is something like 8,000 feet. It's very high, so you get winded pretty quick. But that's the nice thing, the further up the hill you go, the less people there are. I gotta say, it lives up to expectations. And the fact that we get to stay here after sundown, this is awesome. All this thing needs is a little TLC. It'll be in tip-top shape like it's sitting in the showroom floor still, huh? Little polish is all it needs. Hey, friend.
Howdy. How are the prospects up here?
Oh man, not so good, not so good. Veins are drying up. The water's drying up. Me and my family are holding steady, you know?
Well, darn, I'm gonna go write my wife in Canada then.
Any day now we're gonna get some more color out of these hills.
You wanna buy a donkey?
Oh, you got burros for sale.
Yeah, I'm a traveling burro salesman. Those asses are all over the place up in the hills, and I bring them down to people like you.
Eventually, though, we'll get some more color out of these hills, and they won't laugh at me any longer for sticking it out.
They're laughing at you now.
They are. I just realized it's high noon, so I gotta duel somebody. Still trips me out to think like people lived here. This was their life. And now it's like a tourist attraction. Imagine if you knew that where you live in like 100 years would be a tourist attraction and people would just be waddling about. Found the one dwarf in town's house. He came through with the circus train and set up shop here. Full-blown schoolhouse. It's crazy to think, you know, some kids came in here and learned. It's wild. Ah, it feels good in the shade. The altitude really gets you hard and fast. You don't see it coming, and all of a sudden you're out of breath. Taking a break over there, a little respite. This one's so cool. What if we could see someone in the rocking chair? I like the chest. This was a boarding house, so people could stay here, get rooms, room and board. I really like that so many of these have things in the interior with the intact glass. Makes it so much cooler. This one's all topsy-turvy, huh? Wow, would you look at that? This is the Swayze Hotel, bought by Horace Swayze in 1894. Huh? At one point it also had a store and a casino. Now she's barely standing. How drunk am I? I want to have a shootout here so bad. You know what I mean? Real life tumbleweed. Think this thing was delivering hooch to Bodie or what? Yep. These are definitely some of the most impressive buildings still standing. This is the IOOF Hall, the Independent Order of Oddfellows Lodge, a fraternal order. And the morgue is right next door.
Once you get back to the highway, it's less than 20 minutes.
Oh, this in here is the museum. Little mirror. Huh?
I think it was cute.
These old hearses are really cool. Reminds me of the one I saw at the Angels Camp Museum. I had a lot of fun doing that episode. You should check it out if you haven't. They had a whole stagecoach museum. Prescott Scott from San Francisco. I wonder if we're related. Mine are ore cars like these, or like, I don't know why. I just love them so much, and I wish I had one in my backyard. These bottles are awesome. This is the Kane House. Mr. Kane was out here in the 1880s and he was a banker and other various things. And then by 1915, when the gold mines were all shutting down and just weren't making a profit, through court order, he somehow acquired all of Standard Company's mining properties. And he fought for it hard because he thought the gold mines were going to prosper again. Unfortunately, they never did. Some of them puttered along through the early 1900s, but all the gold mining in the United States was shut down for World War II by federal order. And then that sealed the deal for Bodie, and I just heard a noise inside this house.
Wasn't me.
Mr. James Kane, coming in and out of that door every day, huh? It's crazy. It's cool when the wind blows, this whole thing creaks and shakes. It's awesome. It'd be so fun to be huddled in here during a thunder and lightning storm. That would be a sub. The shadows are getting long. Sun's starting to go down, so let's pay our final respects over at Boot Hill and then wait for night to fall. This is the cemetery up here. Pretty spooky. James B. Perry, native of Ireland, buried here in 1896. That's crazy, man. It's wild. This is a really big cemetery too. Like, I always think of the Wild West cemeteries as like one little square, you know, one little plot. Catherine Lee died in 1912. Cemeteries are so strange. Man, there's just people here, you know? There's a whole bunch of folks. Weird. It always trips me out. Whew. Today was a long one. We still got nightfall to wait for. This altitude's no joke. And there's red ants everywhere. All right, finally checked it off. Bodie, California. One of the most well-preserved ghost towns in the world. So happy I finally got to see this. Another episode coming soon. When the sun goes down, we're gonna be in this graveyard here, waiting it out. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Do all the cool things that cool kids do. Catch you on the flippity flip. Let's wait for the sun to go down. How high the elevation is here. Look at that bag. Literally when I started the Something or Other tour, like, this was on the original list of like the first like 5-10 episodes I wanted to do. 3 years plus later, finally here. This altitude is no joke. I'll tell you that much.